a fake. Placing Eagles legs. The sixth Backlash event taking place at the Rexall Place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, United States on April 18th, 2004. This was a Raw exclusive pay-per-view with 13,000 in attendance and 510,000 people watching worldwide, down 190,000 from the previous year. The opening video package showcases the WrestleMania 20 main event, for which we have a rematch tonight. The set looks pretty cool, 3 Ovaltrons. Match 1, Ric Flair vs Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin was drafted to Raw and beat Triple H in an absolute barn burner. He then beat him again via countout. Flair was not happy with either and challenged him to a match here. Shelton has his "Ain't No Stopping Me, No" theme music, and we get the Flair flop early on when Shelton slaps Flair. Always love that spot. It is stupid, but it's wrestling stupid. Shelton also shows his insane agility and jumping ability. Shelton on the mic was a charisma vacuum, but in the ring his charisma flows. It's such an oddity. This was the fresh, agile young Shelton against the old Flair, but who has experience and knowledge. Flair sees an opening and begins working over Shelton's knee. Shelton sold it rather well, struggling to stand. There's an odd moment where Flair tries to bring a chair in, but nothing really happens from it. Flair bumps a lot for Shelton and puts him over in the end, losing to a diving clothesline. Shelton never really had an iconic finish in his career, and this was before the T-bone suplex became his kind of finisher. So Shelton gets the big victory here. It was an odd match. It was good, but it just didn't feel good. It felt underwhelming and not exciting. A couple of odd moments, but it was structured well, but the execution just didn't sit right. Something didn't click here. Rating a C+, I think is fair. Todd Grisham interviews Randy Orton. He asks if Flair's loss is a bad omen for Evolution tonight. Orton's not worried though, and certainly not scared. No, he probably should be. Orton says Foley's an old, sad, toothless dog who is going to be put out of his misery.
Hurry!
Match 2, Tajiri versus Jonathan Coachman.
What the fuck?
Oh lord, why? Just why? Well, Tajiri accidentally misted Coachman on Raw and then Coachman made it a personal vendetta, so here we are. Tajiri accidentally kicked the ring post, allowing Coachman to take control, unfortunately for an excruciatingly long time where I lost the will to live.
Bored, boring, dull, tedious, annoying.
Tajiri eventually comes back. He sells well, but it isn't too exciting. Tarantula. The charisma vacuum Garrison Cade helps Coachman to literally no reaction.
This is shit.
This was horrendous on so many levels. If it had to happen, it should have been 30 seconds maximum. The ending sucked to top it off. One of the worst pay-per-view matches of all time. Nothing redeemable.
And rising to the top of this cesspit of utter woefulness is this.
Rating an F. Match 3, Christian and Trish Stratus versus Chris Jericho. The dramatic love triangle continues. Jericho no longer has feelings at all for Trish, and everyone is calling her a slut. Slut or not, she is hot. Still, it's been a fun feud. Trish is in white looking fine as hell. Jim Ross is upset at Lawler for perving, but we know your Twitter history, Jim. We know you are exactly the same like us. Jericho's back in his WrestleMania 19 gear again. I do love that gear. Christian promised Trish that he would not tag her in and let her pin Jericho in the end. She tags in low early and slaps the shit out of Jericho and kicks him and mocks him before tagging out after Jericho grabbed her leg. After a few minutes of pretty solid wrestling, Trish tries to attack Jericho but is caught. He picks her up with his hand in a dreamy position. Then he spanks her. Yes. But this opens him up to the unprettier. Trish pins, but he kicks out at 2. He kills Trish with a clothesline. Then they clothesline each other, Christian and Jericho do, for a triple down. Jericho does a bulldog, and Christian sells down on his head. Looks funny but cool. He always sells that really well. Jericho gets Trish into walls, but is rolled up for a 2 count. The unprettier is reversed and he catapults Christian into Trish. Then the Enziguri, and Jericho wins it to tie it at 1-1 between these two. A fine match, but nothing special to me. It was enjoyable enough though. Ending kind of came out of nowhere, and the Enziguri is not a great finisher. Thought the match could have played up Christian's slimeball character more as well. Rating, a solid C+. We see Eugene backstage. He just debuted and is Eric Bischoff's special nephew. He is mentally retarded.
That's fucking retarded.
Although not as retarded as wrestling fans these days. William Regal also returned and is taking care of Eugene for Eric. Regal is a British legend. Eugene is looking at the Divas magazine, a man of culture. He is so interested that he accidentally walks into the women's locker room. Gail Kim is dressing. She is in her bra and panties. Nice. Molly Holly tells him off, but Eugene is confused by a buzz cut as Molly realises she hasn't got her wig on. They all scream, so Regal sorts it out, telling Eugene he'll go blind, so he needs to leave. He apologises to the girls until he starts checking out Gail Kim, as one would. He has the best facial expressions. Get out of here! A very funny and entertaining segment. We then get a video package which has been edited out. It is about Chris Benoit's week back in his hometown of Edmonton in the awful country of Canada. April 18th, 2004 is Chris Benoit Day. I got to retract pretty quick, eh? It is a beautiful package, but obviously it is a bit weird given what happened, allegedly. Match 4, Women's Championship, Victoria versus Lita. Victoria looking amazing in her gear, stacked from the front and back. They have a lovely opening wrestling exchange, then it kinda starts to go a bit wrong. We do get the now notorious Victoria jiggling booty standing moonsault. Wrong camera angle though. Lita makes a comeback, which is a mixed bag. Victoria gets a near fall from her awesome sidewalk slam. The moonsault nearly misses though, and it is kind of botched. Lita with the reverse twist of fate, which looked crap, and the kick out wasn't good either. Victoria eventually wins with a roll up. This started well, but then they messed up and never fully recovered. A bit boring, clunky and poorly paced. I can see what they were going for, but it just wasn't executed well. Poorly done match, although Victoria looked great. Post-match are sadly fully clothed. Gail Kim and Molly Holly with her wig in tow attacked both competitors. Rating, a D+. Match 5, Intercontinental Championship, Randy Orton vs Cactus Jack, Falls Count Anywhere, no holds barred. Foley's been doing some amazing promos in the build, really demented, so much so he is back now as Cactus Jack for one night. A fantastically done video package to get you hyped for the match. Now, these aren't my type of matches, unless they have a good story, which this does, it makes sense, this does, has charismatic performers, which this does. I love Orton's reigning power, always looks awesome. He brings a trash can of weapons with a pathetic barbed wire bat, while Cactus brings his proper barbed wire bat, Barbie. Orton runs to begin with and defends himself with a trash can. After back and forth, Cactus takes control. He does a cool slide to the outside and hits a swinging DDT. But later he gets back suplexed on the ramp for a 2. Barbie comes into play and busts Orton's face open. More bat work, including leg dropping it into his balls.
In the plums.
Cactus then gets a gasoline and a lighter and tries to set Barbie on fire. But Eric Bischoff, a voice of reason for once, finally steps in and tells him to stop as the show would be shut down. So he has to stop. Why tease it in the first place, especially for a babyface? Dumb spot. We still go too far low with the barbed wire board, I don't like that. Cactus gets slammed onto it, and this match is definitely turning for the worse. We then get thumbtacks, for fuck's sake. Orton gets thrown into them, ouch. It made no sense for Orton to put them out in the first place given his character. Orton then gets thrown off the stage onto a set of tables, now that was actually cool. Cactus then jumps off with an elbow. Back in, a double arm DDT gets a 2 count. Cactus kicks out, an RKO after a delayed pin, and a second onto Barbie wins the match. I didn't mind the first half, but it went a bit too far for my liking. Barbed wire is so silly in wrestling and dangerous for a little good result. Yes, it is an iconic and memorable match, but it was hard to enjoy it at all times. Some stuff made no sense, some did, so a very mixed bag which was hard to really rate. It is a historic and iconic match, so that bumps it up along with the context. Rating, I think a B is fair. We hear from Triple H who he is ready for the main event. A victory will taste oh so sweet. Lightning does not strike twice apparently, except for the times it does. Match 6, La Resistance versus the Hurricane and Rosie. Bonus match time, we did not need this. La Resistance are no longer French, they are now Quebecians. Not much better. You can cut the silence with a knife. Eugene comes out mid-match to spark some life into this match. He plays with the Quebec flag. Eugene is in the ring running the ropes and Regal comes to get him as the Hurricane wins the match. Eugene was fun but the match was crap and pointless. Rating an E. Match 7, Edge vs Kane. Not much of a rivalry, just a comeback match for Edge who's been out for over a year. Edge is in between his first great run and fantastic heel run, currently in his awkward babyface edgy phase. Edge has a broken hand and a big cast. Edge low blows Kane and hits him with the cast and a spear wins it. The match was longer than this, but literally nothing of note happened. It wasn't boring per se, but just standard. It was fine. Rating a C-. Main event, World Heavyweight Championship. Chris Benoit defends against Triple H and Shawn Michaels. A great video package for this match showcasing the incredible WrestleMania 20 match again. They begin by cutting Benoit out of the match, but he does get himself involved. Shawn takes a diving headbutt and sells it amazingly. Never seen it sold like that before. Triple H interrupts the count. Cool moment as Benoit puts Triple H in the sharpshooter and then ducks Shawn Michaels and puts him in the crossface, but this is after a ref bump so he has to let go. Shawn Michaels gets huge boos putting Benoit in the sharpshooter, and Earl Hebner, who did the Montreal Screwjob, comes out. I see, but he does not ring the bell this time and calls it correctly. Once again we get the Triple H Harley race bump, which I love so much. Shawn misses a dive again, this time a crossbody into the announce table. Benoit is beaten up by Triple H, but then his comeback is electric. The diving headbutt though misses. Pedigree, slow cover, 1, 2. Shawn Michaels saves it, a la WrestleMania 20 when Benoit came back in. Shawn Michaels hits sweet chin music on Benoit instead of Triple H, leading to him getting low blowed for another close near fall. Triple H gets his trusty sledgehammer. Boom! To the back of Shawn Michaels, who sells it perfectly. Benoit saves further damage and eats steel for his troubles. Triple H tries to pedigree him on the steel stairs, but Benoit reverses, catapult into the ring post, and Triple H sells amazingly going into the crowd. Sweet chin music is caught and the sharpshooter gets locked in. A long hold, the crowd is electric. Triple H gets back in but can't reach Shawn Michaels and he taps out. Another fantastic finish.
Is absolutely sublime.
Obviously not as good as their WrestleMania 20 match, but a damn worthy successor. Little nuggets of callbacks for the first match laced in there, which was nice to see. Great pacing and selling, hot crowd, another classic with another fantastic finish. Really top-notch stuff. Rating? An A+. A very strong A+. And it also wins Match of the Night. Match of the Night, Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. The show overall, I'll give it a C. It wasn't the greatest show, to be honest. It was quite boring, but with a great main event, which didn't save the show to being great. Worst match tonight was Tajiri and Jonathan Coachman. Absolutely abysmal. Moment of the night was the ending to the main event. Really great finish to that match. Sexy moment of the night, Gail Kim in her bra and panties. Lovely to see. MVPs. The bronze medal will give to Shelton Benjamin. He had a solid opening match. It was a good showcase for his agility. Silver medal goes to Randy Orton. He had a great performance. He took a beating, and really this was a breakout performance for him for many people. And the gold medal goes to Chris Benoit for a fantastic main event performance. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I know you won't, but I'll say it anyway.
Peace out, my brothers.